The pandemic has challenged federal and state officials and produced a cascading impact that has hit local government hard. This week, Duluth Mayor Emily Larson announced some important decisions for the city going forward, and she joins us now virtually via Zoom. Mayor Larson, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Maybe you could start by giving us just a quick update on the COVID situation in Duluth right now.
Well, first of all, it's so nice to be here, and thank you so much for all you are doing to help keep our community informed and feeling connected. This show is really important to people, so I'm really happy to be here. COVID is, of course, has taken over for all of us this year, and right now the numbers are feeling somewhat manageable in the sense that some of the skyrocket we had been seeing is starting to come down a little bit. We are still waiting to see some of what the results of post-Thanksgiving will bring. But certainly we're in the middle of this pause instituted by Governor Walz. So a lot of feelings around that too. A lot of people who are unsure of what's going to happen next, people who want things to be reopened, people who still are really comfortable quarantining. It's a very uncertain time for people. But the city of Duluth continues to provide a whole bunch of services to people to make sure that you have what you need, that you can get around safely, that you can stay home, be well, get well, stay healthy, and come back out when the time is right.
Mm-hmm. Mayors around the state have been in close contact with the governor. When do you think that Duluth might begin receiving vaccines once they're approved?
We should actually receive them this month. So as we're talking now, it's the second week in December, I think. I mean, I can't even keep track. But actually later this month, people will start receiving the vaccine. Of course, it will be frontline workers, healthcare workers, the people who we all need to stay healthy and strong, who are at the greatest risk right now because they are essential workers. Somebody like me who is not on the front line, I'm not providing healthcare. There's a lot I can do from home and through a controlled environment. It will be months before I will have access to the vaccine. All Minnesotans will have access to the vaccine. Nobody will be required or forced to take that. My understanding, and I'm not the vaccine creators, but most likely it will take a couple of doses. So we'll still have to be careful in between getting those, the first vaccine and the second vaccine. But people should start getting them later this month. And we are working very closely with the hospitals, with the county, even UMD, who is willing to partner with us around if we need more kind of refrigerated spaces to keep the vaccine, because it has a climate element, a temperature element to it. So there are wheels in motion. And to me, it feels so good to know that part of the pandemic. And then I have to remember that this part of the pandemic is still going to be pretty long.
Mm-hmm. Will the city itself be playing a pretty active role in the distribution of the vaccine?
Yeah, I kind of envision it'll be the same way we're doing testing, which is to say that there is the health department and the testing company that are doing all sorts of things, and also partnering with them in a way that the public can trust. There is something about knowing that you're going to the deck. It's a facility that you feel comfortable, you know where to park. The public is behind that. You're not going to a private business that I think people feel really comfortable with, and we envision continuing to do that.
Governor Walz has announced that he'll convene a special session of the legislature next week to pass some COVID-19 relief for businesses and individuals and communities. What would you like to see come out of that session?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, this can't come soon enough. And I'm so grateful to Governor Walz and our legislators who continue to go to work, doing the hard work of making sure Minnesotans have what they need. So, and that's a bipartisan statement that is about people, getting past an election and now moving forward, doing what we need to do to take care of each other. My best hope is that there is relief for local units of government who are providing essential services and need to continue to do that, even though our revenues have had to adjust to significant decreases and cuts. That places like the DEC Authority, the Spirit Mountain Authority, there were a few kind of quasi-governmental entities that didn't qualify for the Paycheck Protection Program. So I'd like to see them made more whole, and primarily unemployment insurance and support for business owners. This is a pause that I really do believe we need. Doesn't mean I like it, Doesn't mean I'm excited about it. I do think the health of each other requires us to have this pause and this kind of closure right now. And we need some financial relief to make it work, and to help people make it stick. That's part of it. We have got to get through this. So we really need people to be able to stay focused. They can pay their rent, they can buy their groceries, they can get their kids' needs met. It's a very financially uncertain time for people, and that causes a whole bunch of other issues and concerns. So really, I'd like to see the public made as whole as possible.
Mm-hmm. Some of those entities that you mentioned a little bit earlier depend on the tourism tax revenues. With the tourism season almost shut down this year because of COVID-19, what's going to happen to that pool of money, and what can the entities that depend on those resources expect in the upcoming year?
Well, just this week, I made recommendations for tourism tax allocations. And last year, when we were forecasting for this year, we had suggested that we would have around $12 million of collections to work with, that we didn't come close to $12 million of collections to work with. We know that this pandemic will continue to hit our tourism industry for at least another year, likely several years, maybe 2 to 3 more years. It's just as a cyclical. Doesn't mean tourism won't return. It does mean that it will take a little while for us to get there. So we have actually decreased our allocation expectations to $9 million. That draws down some of our reserves even. There are some entities that will truly, truly suffer because of the decreased funding they will get from the city, and there's not a lot I can do about that, honestly. I don't mean that with any disregard for the impact, just that I am limited in the resources that I have to be able to allocate. And that makes it hard for everybody. You know, they're in every single one of these tourism entities, whether it's something significant like the deck, which is, you know, a lot of different things going on, or a single program area. This is the passion that people have. This is what helps connect outsiders, you know, to Duluth. This is a job. This is food on someone's table. Those decisions are really difficult because I know every single one of them has a ripple and an impact that isn't just about that one, you know, program that somebody may really love, or that one a visit to Duluth that somebody could remember. It's really about also building our own local economy. So it's all very, very intertwined.
Mm-hmm. Many people are frustrated that the state mandated COVID restrictions seem to be continually extended. The governor just extended that order for another 30 days. Any advice for people who are just experiencing that COVID fatigue as we move through the holiday season?
Well, I tell you, I feel it too. It is so hard. The things that I want to do, I want to hug people. I want to work out. I want to go to movies. I want to go eat at restaurants. I want to support my local economy. So I think the first thing is to have a lot of forgiveness and create space for, really, it's a sense of loss to not be able to do some of the things that are important to us, to maintain some of those traditions, to be able to express our love, and to be able to share times and space with people. That is actually a loss. The thing that I have to keep coming back for myself is, what is the why? Why would I be willing to do all of those things that are hard for me? It's my why, and my why is about the people in my life.
Mayor Larson, I hate to interrupt you, but my why is we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie. You bet. Thanks.